Jungkook removed his gloves, getting out of the room after performing a successful surgery on a patient. He washed his hands and fixed himself before grabbing his stuff from the drawer and walked out of there. He informed the patient's guardian the surgery was successful and left to his office. He was a senior surgeon at the Seoul National Hospital for over 4 years with a few awards at national and international level that decorated his home and office wall. As he reached his office, he took out his phone and called his wife, plopping down on a chair and closed his eyes. He was tired. It was a 5 hour long surgery and it drained him of his energy. All he wanted was to hear his wife's voice. He knew he was going to feel so much better. She didn't pick up the call. He sighed and called again. She picks it up, always, no matter where she is. And right on cue, the call was connected. A smile appeared on his lips, but before he could utter a word, he heard a voice of a male. Hello, am I speaking to someone who relates Miss Joan Wyan? Jungkook, I am her husband. Where is she? He got alert and sat up straight. A nerve to his brain gave him a very nasty feeling about all of this. I am Will from the National Police. Your wife, Miss Wine, has gotten into a severe accident and we are currently shifting her to the XXXX hospital. Jungkook's heart almost jumped out of his rib cage at the information. He stood off the chair and panicked. Jungkook, bring her to the Seoul National Hospital. I want her treated here. Jungkook, and whatever your procedure will be, I'll regard it till later myself. Well, alright, she'll be transferred there. We'll talk about her casualties later. I hope she survives. Jungkook hung up the call and gripped his hair in his hands. Will said it was swear. Jungkook didn't know how swear. How the hell she got into an accident? Why her? He ran out of the office towards the reception and told them to prepare to receive his patient. He then called the best nurses and doctors to attend to his wife, while he was going to lead them. There was a policy to the hospital. No doctor could treat their family members themselves, but hell with the policy. He didn't trust his wife with someone else. As soon as the ambulance arrived and they pulled wide down the vehicle, Jungkook realized his hands were shaking and breaths were unstable. There was blood around her head, and when he checked her pulse, it was hardly there. The way to the ER until he got ready for the treatment, he took his time to calm himself down. He couldn't bring emotions to mess up the surgery. She was badly hurt and needed a treatment to survive. It took Jungkook some time to get her back to her life. He believed in between there came a time when he thought he was going to die first, when she lost her pulse and they had to use defibrillators at a very high voltage that risked a human life itself. Only that process took them a total of 13 minutes to bring her back to life. 13 minutes of complete hell. 13 minutes that passed like 30 centuries to him. After about 1.5 hours, he was done with the treatment and Wine was shifted to a private room. When he entered, his eyes were tired and hands numb. He took a deep breath and took a seat beside her sleeping body and held her hand tightly in his grasp. Jungkook, wake up. I cannot do this without you, even for another minute. He was extremely tired and drained out of energy. He rested his head beside hers and snuggled his nose in her hair. When he could smell her, where he knew she was safe, and that feeling of home was still alive in his heart. Those 2 hours were like a trauma to him. He doesn't think he'll be able to forget it easily. As his eyes teared up, he desperately wished for her to get up. Jungkook, all I want is to hear your voice again. Have you look at me with your pretty eyes and hold me with your loving hands. Jungkook, wake up, Wine. I miss you. He brushed fingers through her hair. It was another half an hour after when she woke up. He sat up straight at her slightest movement. The burn in his heart cooled down, and the anxiety finally died. It was like he was suddenly in heaven when she opened her eyes and looked at him with them. Jungkook, welcome back, baby. I missed you. He kissed her head and helped her drink some water. Jungkook, how are you feeling? Wine, what happened? Jungkook, you got into a car accident. Wine, I feel strong pain in the back of my neck and shoulders. Jungkook, a huge stress fell at that point during the car rollover. It will take a few days, but it will heal completely. Wine, I saw a child through the car's mirror in another car. His mother was beating him and he was crying. It took my attention, and I didn't know when I got into accident, losing focus on the road. Jungkook, I'll look into it. He held her hand. Do you know how much I panicked seeing you like this? Baby, please. You know I cannot live without you. Wine, I'm sorry. You must be really shocked. I'm so sorry. Jungkook shook his head. He wanted to be strong before her. He didn't want to break down. But hell, he couldn't get that image of her filled in blood out of his head. The tear rolled down his eye as he threw his head down. Vine wrapped her arm around him, pulling him against her chest. She felt guilty. She knew how much he loved her and how much it must have affected him all along. Vine, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll be careful. Jungkook, no, don't be sorry. I'm just glad you're okay. I'll help you heal completely. Vine, you have to, or how will you enjoy my handmade burnt pancakes? He chuckled and she did as well, brushing fingers through his hair, while Jungkook took comfort in his embrace, feeling as lucky as ever. He pulled away, letting her rest. She received physiotherapy sessions as well, as she was getting healed right under 24-hour strict checkup by her own husband. Jungkook was really serious about her health and didn't let her do any work nor put any stress on her shoulders. He was really supportive until she was back on her feet, all healed, and she believed she was given another life to love her husband all she could.